Hello and welcome to Peter Pan Lore on YouTube once again. I have just finished filming a bunch of Peter Pan facts. I have rubbed half of this makeup off, but I want to finish filming this intro or start filming the... it's been a very long day. I've been awake very early for the last several days in a row, but I'm here to bring you a travel vlog, I guess. So I got to go up to Scotland last week for a few days. It was super exciting and it took a great deal of planning, and one of the main reasons I was going up there I cannot post on the internet just yet. I am waiting for confirmation I can post all that stuff. It's very, very exciting, but nothing to do with Peter Pan. So that will be over on my cosplay channel, Walker's Noise. But the Peter Pan stuff I can bring you is very, very exciting. So while we were up in Scotland, I decided, hell, I'm near these places that I've always wanted to visit. Let's go visit some Peter Pan history. And one of the places I have been dying to visit for so long, I finally got to. So here is a little travel vlog of me and the things that I got up to. Now, unfortunately, some of my footage from the first day has been lost or corrupted on my SD card, so I'm going to be talking over the pictures and a few of the little video snippets that I have currently got. But luckily, the most important footage was not lost because I had that one backed up properly. So let's dive into it. And here is the first place that I went to. This is going to be a series of pictures and a few videos.
The garden at Moat Brae has changed a great deal since Barrie played here as a boy. It is over 100 years ago, after all. But one thing that hasn't changed is the great tulip tree that you can see through the window. It's actually a kind of magnolia, but the flowers look a bit like tulips, to some people at least. To the young Jamie Barrie, they suggested exotic fruits from far.
There was so much in this house. I couldn't possibly talk about all of it. It was really fascinating to see how many books they had. I love this little play scene and the statue, and everything was very well themed as well. This bell that was used to make Tinkling Bells noises. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And looking at the bookshelf, there was very few I didn't have. They also had a pirate ship and a really lovely reading nook, and just little things written everywhere all over the walls to make it very magic. They also had a dress-up room with a stage, and of course, I had to join in. Seriously, why would you not? There was all this dress-up kit, and there was a little stage. Of course I did. Of course I did. I'm a theatre kid. Why would I not? And I became a mermaid for a hot 5 minutes. Wiggling out of that was fun. These staircases had different book titles written on them. It was beautiful. And this is the Jolly Roger in the back garden. It was raining quite heavily, so I couldn't climb all the way to the top because it was very slippy, but I did get to sleep in the hammock. That was pretty cool. So, rah, pirate ship the Jolly Roger found in the back garden. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can definitely see where this garden can have inspired somewhere like the Neverland. And in a second, can you spot the child in this picture? Don't worry, not a real child. And in this one. So all through the garden, they had these wire children playing. It was absolutely brilliant. And of course, the crocodile as well. So having a look around, and what do I see in the case? And what did I just so happen to bring with me in my bag? Snap. This is my first ever copy. Here are some of the snippets that did survive on my phone. So you've got the reading nook, you've got Peter's shadow on the walls, you've got Nana's kennel that you could crawl through. It was absolutely beautiful. There was a Wendy house and everything. So the very special place that I got to go on the very last day, just before we started driving back home, was J.M. Barrie's birthplace. Now, as I say a lot, I am not a J.M. Barrie historian. I'm not as interested in his life as I am in the story itself. I love a lot of his other work, but Peter Pan, obviously, is the main one, and the little white bird. However, there is something very special that is on display in his birthplace that I have wanted to see for the longest time. While I was there, I also got to see some fantastic things like original books and manuscripts and the table where he wrote, and it had information like there were sort of some scuffs on it, like loads and loads of scuffs on the wood, and those were from where his cufflinks would sit while he wrote and how he would swap hands and things like this. And that was all fascinating and really interesting to see. But the big exciting thing was the costumes. Now, I have shown you pictures of these before, I have talked about them before. there are 2 costumes on display in that house, and one of them was worn by Jean Forbes Robertson. And I was like a foot away, and there was no one else there because we were there quite early in the morning. There was no one else there. It was just me and Jean Forbes Robertson's costume just staring at each other. It was absolutely magical. Pause to read. Read. This place was absolutely dripping with history. Everywhere you looked, and this stained glass window. Before I get into the history again, I want this in my house. I want a stained glass window in my front door or in a window just somewhere. I am gonna get a replica of that one day. It was just gorgeous. So yeah, everywhere, every place you look, there are pieces of history. There is cute little words written on the walls. I really like this one, which says an author may not always interfere with his story. And I think I'm going to carry that forward into my own writing. So yeah, everywhere you look, there are things to see, there's bits of history, and there's so much information about it. Everything has a little plaque on it telling you what it is, what its historical relevance is, and everything is full, crammed full. A bit like the Neverland, really, crammed full of things. There's pictures of Barrie, there's his family, there's history, just details and bits everywhere. Not a single step was missed. This is one of his trunks that he went to London with, I believe. Let's read the thing. Pause to read. Are you reading it? This room in particular was very exciting to me because not only did it have old and original copies of the books, thankfully behind glass, it also had his desk where he used to write and just so many other bits and pieces I wouldn't even have thought about until I got there. There is an original copy of Peter Pan right there. Nice. This, you can see where I spotted it and immediately went, meow. I want it. This was very exciting too. So this is a copy of the one that they had under glass, and this is one of the manuscripts where he was editing and doing things. And again, another little cute little piece of writing everywhere. I really like these, the Taking of the Crocodile. Oh, by the way, next to the clock, which you will hear chiming in a minute. That was not pre-planned. When I was filming in this room, suddenly the clock went off. It was very, very cool. So this, I really love being able to flick through. So this is a copy of the stage notes and things like this. And I, of course, flicked to one of my favourite bits, which is second to the right and then straight on till morning. That was me being a tiny bit petty to be like, look, it said no star all the way through, all the way back into the play. So I was just being a tiny bit petty there, but it is one of my favourite bits. This bit is really exciting. Look, these marks on the table, these are where Barrie's cufflinks would hit and scuff while he was writing. And he swapped sometimes. He was right-handed, but swapped to his left hand sometimes. And also, I have these playing cards, so I love seeing things that I have copies of just under glass. It's so cool. This is the original that I was looking at the copy of earlier. So this is the manuscript with his notes and things, and there's his glasses, and this desk was really interesting. I didn't think about it at all. It was one of those things that I saw when we got there, and I suddenly thought, wow, this is just a fantastic piece of history. I'm so glad I got to see it. Pause to read. I take it back, actually. These are not the exact playing cards that I have. I have copies of ones that have the same art style. Hello, Barrie's glasses. But this is not the exact same pack of playing cards. Obviously, I think, because my ones are nowhere near that old. But I love the fact that they have the same illustrations. Seeing that original manuscript. Just getting closer. Must be closer to it. The Boy Who Would Not Grow Up. Peter Pan. I loved it. This was exciting too, again behind glass. So this is a proof copy corrected by the author. What I would not give to be able to look at that. Probably with gloves on and everything, but and wait for it in 3, 2, 1. Unplanned and unscripted. This clock is not a paid actor. Venturing upstairs, I'm going to leave the original sound on. There was a few people chatting while I was downstairs, so I didn't want to catch their voice on the recording. But up here, there was lots of audio description telling you about the room. So I'll let you guys listen to that while I wander through.
Children huddled close together, hanging on a lovely one. Bedtime stories take them on faraway adventures to a world of fairies and ghosts walking streets from the past. The Barries were a large family, with the downstairs rooms occupied by the weaving room and a yarn store. Only the two upper rooms were available for family use. This room shows how their kitchen might have dated. The Barries would have cooked, eaten, and caught up on the day's activities here.
And now we come to the most magical room of the entire tour. This is the room that had the original costumes in. I was beyond excited to see this room, and I'm quite glad it was last so I could, build up to it. There is also a beautiful Tinker Bell sound effect happening all the way through in this room on repeat, so enjoy listening to that while I look around at the costumes. Of course, seeing the costumes up close and in person meant that I could finally find out what was written on the plaque underneath them. Nobody had taken proper pictures of it, so I've never been able to zoom in and read it. It says that the Jean Forbes Robertson costume was worn by Jean Forbes Robertson, one of the more famous actresses ever to play the role of Peter Pan, and it says that the shoulder blades of the costumes at the back also would originally have had a gap for the flying harness. This we knew, but it's just finally nice to solve that mystery and know what is written on that plaque. I have been trying to zoom in on pictures of this for so long. But yeah, enjoy the Tinkerbell noises, and here are the costumes. I'm not gonna lie, I want to make both of them. Yeah, seeing the Jean Forbes Robertson in particular one up close has just made me realise how many things I'd like to add and edit and adapt on my own one. So while I have done a Jean Forbes Robertson one before, I definitely want to redo it now. And to conclude this tour of J.M. Barrie's birthplace, I went out to the garden where I saw an incredible sculpture crocodile made entirely out of driftwood. And it ticks. Let's go listen. So that concludes this travel-y vlog of my time up in Scotland. If you've got any thoughts or questions, chuck them down in the comments below. And if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about over here in a big long form video or over on my TikTok content, let me know in the comments down below too. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. I've been crazy busy, and I'm about to be crazy busy doing stuff for MCM Comic Con in London as well. So I will try to catch up on things very soon. I've had a couple of weeks off while I was getting ready for Scotland and going up to Scotland and frantically working doubles and extra to save some money for Scotland. And I have a video on TikTok coming up of all the things that I got while I was there. And you know what? Maybe I'll show you guys here as well. So bear with me. So there were a few things that I got. while I was up in Scotland. One of them is this mug, which I absolutely love. Look at it. Second to the right and then straight onto morning. I love this design. It is so cute. It has a little Peter inside. And this is part of the 90 Years of Peter Pan Great Ormond Street Hospital collection. So I didn't get to get this at the time, but they had it up at, I think it was Moat Brae I got this from. So that was a really exciting find. Love that. And it's going up on my now crockery shelf. Can't believe I have a bloody crockery shelf. Similar thing, I got a bookmark, second to the right and straight onto morning. They had a few bookmarks, but this was one of the few ones that actually had a quote from it. Some of the other ones just had phrases that weren't from the book, so I got this one. I've also got this really, really cute little, well, I think it's like a Christmas ornament, but I don't know if I'm going to put it on the Christmas tree or anything. It's going to mostly stay on my shelf, but it's a little book. And look at the back. It has a whole pirate ship on it. So I thought that was cute as hell, so I got that one. I've also got this massive book. It's actually like a box. Inside it's got a puzzle and a book. I also got this little notebook, which I'm going to decide whether or not I want to actually use or not. And this card. And I feel like I got something else as well. What am I forgetting? I remember. It's on this shelf now. So, joining my CD collection is this. So it's a CD of the novel, and it's being read by all these famous people. It's amazing. You've got Joanna Lumley, you've got Zoe Wanamaker. Oh, I remember her so. Oh, she's like staple of my childhood. And it's got Kit Harington, Michael Morpurgo. So they each read a chapter. So what I will do is I will listen to this over on TikTok or on YouTube, and I'll play you guys some snippets and you can tell me whose chapter you like the best. So yeah, got this one as well. So altogether, a pretty exciting time. I hope you've enjoyed the absolute chaos and the shenanigans that was this video vlog. I was gonna say wipe all this off and go to bed. More likely just face plummet into bed because my brain is still on. Get up at 5 a.m. to drive up to Scotland. Time, and yeah, it's been great, but I'm absolutely knackered and I've been working the last 2 days as well. So have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget to hydrate, be good to each other, and I'll be back super duper soon.